Every man who ever built something real hit the same wall. The point where it stopped feeling exciting, where the progress slowed down, where the results weren't matching the effort, and the voice in his head started asking if it was even worth it. Most men quit here. Not because they're weak, because they have no idea what's actually happening, and they have no idea how close they are. The men who break through aren't tougher. They're not more gifted. They just understood one thing the quitters never did. And that one thing is what this video is about. Here's what they don't tell you about building anything real. The results don't come when you expect them. They come after, sometimes long after. There's a concept called the dip, the period between starting something and seeing any return on it. It's the valley between effort and reward, and it's where most men die. Not literally, but the version of them that could have won dies right there in the dip. The problem isn't lack of effort, it's lack of evidence. When you're in the dip, nothing is confirming that what you're doing is working. No feedback, no results, no signal, just silence. And the human mind, untrained, interprets silence as failure. So men pivot, they switch, they start over, and they carry the identity of someone who never finishes. The men who win are not the most talented. They're the ones who outlasted the silence. Progress is not linear. It never has been. You don't improve steadily, day by day, in a clean upward line. You flatline for weeks, sometimes months, and then you leap. This is how skill works. This is how businesses work. This is how bodies transform. The flat line is not stagnation, it's compression. Everything you're doing is loading, and you can't see it yet. The men who quit during the flat line never find out what the leap feels like. Draw the line. Understand you will flatline. Decide in advance that you will not move until the leap comes. Here's the mistake most men make. They redecide every day. Every morning they wake up and ask themselves, should I keep going? That question is the enemy. Because some days the answer will be no. And if you're asking it daily, eventually you'll listen to the no. The men who quietly win make the decision once, and then they stop making it. You decided, it's done. The only question now is execution. This is not motivation. This is architecture. You build a life where quitting is not one of the options on the table, because you already removed it. Discipline is not doing hard things every day. Discipline is removing the choice to do anything else. When men are in the dip, they measure themselves against the finish line. And the finish line is always too far to see. That's the wrong measurement. The men who survive the dip measure differently. They ask one question every day. Did I show up? Not, did I see results? Not, did I feel progress? Not, did anything change? Did I show up? Because showing up consistently over time is the only thing that has ever built anything worth having. Every man who has ever built something real will tell you the same thing. The results came after they stopped watching for them. Stop watching. Start showing up. The win is in the repetition. The breakthrough is just what the repetition eventually becomes. This is the level most men skip entirely. Everything up to this point has been about psychology, the geometry of progress, the architecture of decision, the disciplines of showing up without proof. All true, all necessary. But there is a deeper reason the dip can be survived, and it has nothing to do with productivity. The church has always known something about suffering that the modern world forgot. It is not meaningless. It is not simply an obstacle to be optimized away. It can be united to something larger than the outcome you are chasing. St. Paul wrote to the Romans that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. Not despair, not burnout, hope. That is not an accident of translation. It is the actual mechanism. The silence of the dip, endured rightly, is not wasted time. It is formation. It is the place where a man's character is actually built, not merely revealed. This changes what the waiting means. You are not just gritting your teeth until the algorithm, the market, or the body catches up to your effort. You are being shaped. The patience itself is the work. A man who can suffer the dip without losing his peace has already won something no result can give him: mastery over his own reaction to delay. This is what the saints understood that the world does not. Job did not get an explanation in the whirlwind. He got God. The waiting was never resolved with an answer. It was resolved with a relationship. Your dip will not always come with an explanation either. It will come with the opportunity to trust something more durable than your timeline. Offer the waiting up. Let the silence be a place of prayer instead of panic. A man who can do this is no longer at the mercy of the dip. He has made peace with it before it ever arrives. Most men quit right before it gets good. They feel the resistance and call it a sign. They see the silence and call it failure. They hit the dip and call it the end. It isn't. The dip is the filter. It's where the men who were never serious fall away, and the men who were always serious find out who they are. Make the decision once. Survive the silence. Show up when nothing is confirming that you should. Suffer it well. That's the signal. Everything else is noise.